should be live right now. Gonna do a little bit of an early live stream. I know that the next monthly event is coming shortly, so I wanted to get my guys on cooldown so I don't have to worry about it. So let me send out a couple of messages, let people know that I am live. Alright, get that tweet out there. And we'll get this Facebook post up here. Post to a group that I'm in for Marvel Contest of Champions and to my main page. And I think, let me go to my page here. It's supposed to be up to date, being kept up to date, but I'm not sure what Facebook does. Let me see what the last post is of me. Alright, as soon as it gets going. Okay. Wow. So it's not updating, so I need to remember to put this out myself. Sorry for anybody that has liked my page on Facebook. I thought it was updating every time I went live, but apparently it is not. Alright. Christina, amazing. How are you doing? First one here. I'm sending out the I am live messages. Doing it a little bit earlier. Let's see. Hitting up a few groups that I am a part of. I want to get these guys on cooldown. I fell asleep last night before I did a round, or else I would be done right now. But instead, we'll get that round in, hopefully hit all the milestones, and then I'll just use my 6 stars when they come off of a cooldown and focus on the 4-star basic arena. Let's see, got a couple more. Let folks know in my alliance. And this one here. Okay. I think that's all I'm gonna do. Ah, you're on lunch. Okay, and you got the notification. Good. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Gonna try to get this done before the monthly event quest. I see we have a few lurkers. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here. I almost missed this last occult labs. I didn't realize I hadn't done it yet, and it was telling me that I had 8 hours, but I think the event itself is over in like an hour, so there's that. And you guys can see my shiny new blade. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning on him. But from now on in Arena, this is the team that I will be using. And it'll also make it easier for me when I am building up the infinite streak, because this is a team that I can use when things start getting hard. Because thanks to him now, my Ghost Rider is more reliable. I really didn't like using Ghost Rider in the arena even because he's unreliable. I don't like using unreliable champs. But with the Blade synergy, he is now a rock solid, dependable champion. He will land his judgments every time. And where that actually makes a difference when I'm building up the infinite streak is when I fire off his L2, which is exactly what I need when they don't want to throw their specials. I need him to drain their power every single time I throw that, because I'm only going to get one time more than likely in arena. And so if he messes up, then that's it for me. So don't usually like relying on his power control without Blade. And of course I have the 4-star Blade, so I already know about him. Yeah, I was holding that generic gem just waiting. I kept it and was not going to use it on anyone else except Blade unless I got a skill awakening gem. Same thing with the science awakening gem that I have right now. I've been holding that for a long time, and I will hold it until I get Void. Can't imagine any other champion that I would use it on. You know, they could come out with something crazy that makes me use it, you know, even over waiting for Void. But at this point in time, there's no champion in the game that I would use that awakening gem on except Void. Come on, Magic. Quit acting like that. One thing I hate with Magic is when she procs her limbo every single time. That is so annoying. Now, if I had Gladiator Hulk, it wouldn't be annoying. I would love it. I'd be sitting here screaming, "Face me!" Ryan White, welcome. How you doing, man? Ryan White says, so that was your first time getting him. Yes, it was. So I saw that yesterday and I was shocked. Yeah, man. You remember, I think you remember if you were here, when they used to have 5-star featured crystals where you had an increased chance to get a particular crystal. There was no pool of champions. Well, I never went for 5-star featured champions. Hold on, some somebody subscribed. I was wondering. I heard the sound, but yeah, there was no pool of champions, and I never went for any of those featured crystals. Never thought it was worth it. And Blade was the last of that crystal. They made the announcement that they were no longer going to be coming out with that particular type of crystal, and he was the last one. So I saved up, and you can see it on my channel, and I went for him and missed him every single time. But in that same set of attempts, I got my Starkey and I got Ghost Rider. So they gave me all of the Trinity except Blade. And so I was just like, okay, well, that sucks, but that's also why I don't go for featured crystals. Because if I had done that before, I would have been very, very upset at having spent all that extra amount of shards not to get the champion that I was going for. So, and I knew that eventually I had to be able to get that blade. I wasn't expecting him, but I knew that that was always a possibility. And then I awakened this lovely lady right here. Come on, Hulk. If you don't throw it, I'm going to teach you why you want to throw that with Rogue. See? You don't want to throw it, so Rogue is about to teach him a little something, something. And that's why you want to throw that special, Hulk. Rogue is pretty good. Now that she's awakened, I can definitely see myself using her a bit more in the harder fights in Arena. Don't know if I'd use her outside of Arena still. Alright, let's see what we got. Matthews, I'm not sure if I'm saying that name correctly. Give me a second, I'll get to your question here. I don't want to get beat down by this Dormammu. Alright, let me exit out of that real quick and turn down my sound. Alright. Says, what are your proficiencies? What do you mean, my masteries? I have a video on my channel that goes through my masteries, and they change. They change based on what I'm currently doing. If I was going for a champion, I go for I run suicides. If I have to also play in a Lion's Quest, if it's just map 5, that's one thing. If it is map 6, then I'm going to want to run maybe half suicides. Don't run liquid courage, just double edge. Just so that I'm not gimping the healing of my healing champions, namely Blade. Ghost Rider seems to work okay, even with liquid courage on, but most of the time when I'm not running that, I have a build max out deep wounds, max out assassin. Sometimes I go for glass cannon. Lately I haven't been putting any points into it at all. I always put at least 1 point in what do you call it, willpower, and I usually put at least 1 point in courage as well, and then it just depends. Alright, let me fight started already. Kind of trying to go through this pretty quickly so that I can get a little break before I have to worry about more content. Ryan White says, doing good, man. Glad I'm catching your live stream. Yeah, I went a little bit earlier today. What happened, I was supposed to run my 5 stars last night before I went to bed and before maintenance. And I looked at them and I said, okay, most of them are coming off cooldown, so I'll just wait a little bit. And yeah, I fell asleep. And I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning and was like, oh man. So I went to the bathroom because that's what woke me up and ran through them, but that meant that it was going to be about 10 or 11 before they came off of a cooldown. And so I wouldn't be able to do a 1 o'clock live stream. So if I didn't do it now, the next time they would come off cooldown would be this evening. And I was like, nah. And chances are I'd be already done and probably trying to do the monthly content, which I believe is coming today. So I want to get this out of the way as much as possible. And I would have gotten done, but that alpha arena, I just knocked that one out. So a round of my 5 stars went to that, just getting that done. Scoop 1E says, you grinding to get 5-star Guillotine? No, I am not. I already have a 5-star Guillotine, or Guillotine. In fact, I pulled her a long time ago and used her in my first Realm of Legends run. That's who I used against the Wolverine in there. So no need to have her awakened or anything. See, Cosmin Kin says, you know, he watched your war and now seeing you live. Nice. Good luck, mate. Yes. My last war was far better than the one before it, let me tell you. I did not perform well in that war at all. But I'm back on a familiar path. And before I take another path, really need to practice it, you know, off season. If we can find alliances that aren't tanking, because that's what happened. I joined the alliance after the season had ended, but there were so many alliances that were tanking, I wasn't able to have any practice. I didn't know what path I was going to be assigned to at all. And I think I found out just before that war that I was assigned to 9. And I was like, oh boy. I haven't done 9 for a very long time. In fact, the last time I was on 9, it was before they changed it, before portals or mini bosses or anything like that. That node was still debuff immune, and that path was still annoying, but it wasn't as difficult as it is now. But I could have practiced and got it. I mean, I did get through it, but for the level where we are now, I can't be dying like that on that path. So I told him, you know, I don't think I'm good for this path. And he was like, okay, no problem. He wants everybody to be comfortable with where they are. And, you know, eventually I'd be able to do it. Eventually, you know, with a little bit of practice and, you know, calming my nerves, I would be able to get that done. You know, I should not have lost the way I did to that blade. That was nerves. Made one mistake, panicked, and it was all she wrote. But, you know, that path is a lot about matchups as well. And Corvus can definitely do that fight. What I was told by a few other people and one commenter on my video is that oftentimes the opponent kind of Corvus proofs that path. And if you saw it, you'll see that it was Corvus proofed, meaning I couldn't pick up any missions. And so when I got to that node, I mean, I boosted up And like I said, Corvus can do it. I messed up there. And then facing that debuff immune Iron Man Infinity War, I should have gone in with my Corvus. My Corvus is rank 5. I should have revived him, healed him up, just take the hit to my units and loyalty, whatever, and gone in there. One of the reasons I didn't was that at the time, we were pretty sure we had already lost the war, so we weren't trying to go all out. We had already kicked one member, so we were short-handed. We had another who was not there. He's on a different time zone. And so because the backups that normally would have covered the rest of his path were needed elsewhere because we were short-handed, that path didn't get done. He didn't check in, and so we weren't able to even take down the boss. So I wasn't going to go, extremely hard, but even so, I should have done better than I did. And the fight was close enough, the war was close enough that we might have still been able to beat them even with all of those challenges. Had I played better, had that path gotten done, and we took down the boss, without any more deaths, I think we might have been able to squeak out a win. Alright. Oops. Didn't mean to hit her that second time. Get this Medusa down real quick. Pay attention. There we go. Cosmin says, yeah, I know, new path, new emotions. You ain't kidding. And again, I had never, that was my first time even looking, like just before the war, when I was scouting the path, that is when I actually saw the nodes, and I'm like, ooh, I'm looking at some of the nodes, looking at the champions that I have to bring, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that is, a path that has the best matchups for my champions. I didn't see any Corvus mission opportunities. Then I was looking and I was like, okay, well, Starkey doesn't need his L2 to wreck. So, that pretty much told me that I was going to be using my Starkey. I brought in Hyperion mainly because I really didn't have anybody else that I was thinking of bringing. My other good champions were either on defense or I needed them for Alliance Quest. So I don't have a lot of options for Alliance War attack at that level. But soon I'll be adding another option at least. Good old Blade. And Blade, even though he is no longer quite as potent as he used to be, he's still very, very good. This bleed immune, yeah, that hurts, but that's not going to be permanent. So we'll see next season. And by then, I should have him ranked up. Don't know when I'll be able to rank 5 him, but he is rank 5 bound. I took a look at the prestige list, and his prestige is higher than Void's. So just for, prestige reasons, if no other reason at all, I'm going to rank 5 him, and every skill signature stone that I get goes to him right now. And tomorrow I have a Don't teach me to not pay attention. But I have a video coming out tomorrow, rank up video and some gameplay of him. I already did like a closer look of Blade when I had the 4-star, and as you'll see in the video, the rank 3 5-star is the equivalent of a rank 5 4-star. So I didn't think it was worth doing another in-depth study or anything like that. But I do put in a couple of duels against a Korg. He's not the best counter for that, but I figured, well, this is something that I didn't have in the previous video because Korg wasn't available at the time. And I was like, well, this is a tough enough duel that I think it might be interesting for people to see how I do with Blade against Korg, of all people, with his bleed immune self. So look for that tomorrow morning. It's already uploaded and scheduled, so it'll be out 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Cosmo says every death counts. Yes, every single death counts. And now in the last war that we lost, we just made too many mistakes. We were not playing like a Platinum 2 Alliance then. So hopefully things will improve. You know, this was the first time with a new team, you know, new teams, new BGs and all that. And I think a few had some new paths. So it'll get ironed out. We discuss everything. So I know what was going on. We're always required to record our fights and post any deaths. So anytime we die, we need to have a video of that death. And just, you know, not to shame anyone, but so that we can learn and critique and maybe say, okay, well, you know, you need to do this. And that's also why we need to pause and ask for permission to continue, because it may be, you know, we ran up against somebody and we don't have a good counter for them. And so we wait, get the word down, you know, backup may see that and go in there with the right champions. So communication and strategy makes a big difference. And we have some good communication, some good strategy, so we just have to clean up the gameplay a little bit. Like I said, mistakes were made that are not normally made there. So this next war we should do a whole lot better. Killer Instinct, what's going on, man? Glad to see you back in the stream. Just trying to get through all of my 5 stars and my 550s before the new content drops. That way I can concentrate on that and not worry so much about this here. Let's see, we'll get you guys there. Vinicius says, Lord, are you going to change your profile photo? Do you already have a champion in mind? That is a good question. You know, that's a tough one, Hulk. I'm not quite sure, you know, who I would put up there, Hulk, if I had to change, you know, my profile, Hulk. You know, I'd have to go through my champions, you know, see which ones that I might think would look good as my profile picture. But I have a favorite champion. A lot of people don't know who my favorite champion is, Hulk. Um, but we'll see. We'll see who goes up there. Maybe it'll be this OG Vision. Actually, I'm not even sure if I will stay with whoever. Of course, when it's new, I'm gonna change it just so I can play around with it. But if I read that correctly, the profile picture is gonna look different depending on whether they're your top champion or not. So if you have selected your actual top champion, it's gonna have one look so everybody will know. But if you choose a champion that's not your top, then it's going to look different. I think maybe a different border or no border at all. Something. I'll have to see. It's going to make finding dual targets a little bit more challenging, but I really, really hope that they revamp the whole dueling system. There is no reason that I should have to search myself for somebody in game that happens to have ranked up a particular champion. No reason at all. That should be automatic. It shouldn't even be another player. I should be able to duel any champion that is in the game at any rank. I should be able to choose the rank. I should be able to choose a few different things for the dual target. Now, granted, I know we all want to be able to practice against certain nodes, like be able to choose spite node and stuff like that. But I was listening to Brian Grant, and he makes a lot of sense. While that seems like it would be great, it would actually make certain content a little bit less challenging. Like for example, when I went against that spite node for the first time, it was challenging. But if I had had the ability to just practice that, I would have practiced until, I was, you know, near perfect, and then I wouldn't have had a problem in there. And I just don't think, while it sounds like that might be a great thing for us, I don't think that's what Kabam wants for Alliance War. Because you think about it, in a war, you do have, simulations and things like that. And some of the simulators are pretty good and pretty realistic. But you get your best practice and experience right on out there. They try to make the practice as realistic as possible just for that reason. But I would love to see a duel system that allowed me to select any champion in the game, that allowed me to even turn on certain mastery builds for my dual target. So if I wanted to try fighting somebody that had, suicides or half suicides, I would love to be able to do that. And, I would love to be able to mix and match. There's a lot that they could do for that dual system that would make it so much better. But the way it is now, changing profile pics, we're going to rely on bots, because I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, that your top champion is still going to be who you end up dueling if you select a particular player. So that means that, if his picture, his profile picture is different than his top champion, then you're going to have to look at his profile and then see what the top champion in there is, and that's who you'll end up dueling. That's my guess. We'll see how it works out when it's here. Hey, the integral. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, and I got punched in the face for reading your message. Oh, let me teach this old man Logan a little something, something about hitting a lady. Oh, no, you don't. All right. The integral says, nice AW video, man. Thank you. Renegade XCV says, pulled a 5-star ghost from basic yesterday, and I am loving her. Yes, and you should. Ghost is insane. If you ever watched Panda Man Pete, he will show you the way. Ghost is a new revelation. I didn't even get her as a 4-star because I had been in arena and I decided to take a break. Nobody knew how good she was. Otherwise, I would have gone for her both times in arena, or at least one time, because she doesn't need to be awakened. She is a Labyrinth of Legends option. In fact, Panda Man Pete and Dooley went head to head. Dooley was using a Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, and wow, Ghost was out damaging Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. It was crazy. Ooh. Did I miss something? How did he get unblockable like that? Oh, that was interesting. Granted, I don't know a whole lot about Sabretooth, except that he can get persistent furies across fights. And he has that crazy regen. Get him down, because he's jumping around like he's crazy. And I do not want to deal with him no more. Okay. Buddy Lee, what's up? Richard T, how's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Dean D, how you doing? Buddy Lee, synergy for Sabretooth. Ah, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't know. So which one, I guess, I'll have to look it up. Sabretooth is definitely one of those champions I need to look more into. I've heard that he's an okay defender, especially if folks aren't ready for him. Catch him by surprise. Kabam shenanigans. Yeah, I call shenanigans a lot of times on Kabam. Especially during that war where I did such a poor job. But one of them was not my fault. I should not have lost my Starkey. All I was doing was blocking. Because since it wasn't unblockable, I would block, so I would either auto evade or block it. That's the whole point. I didn't try to evade it because it seemed like my timing was off or their timing was off. Something was going on. So I decided to play it safe, and it blocks the first one, and then the second shock just hits me dead in the face. And that's pretty much what killed me there, because that shock damage ticked on down, and you saw at the end of the fight I just did not have enough health to get that very last attack off that I needed. Had I not gotten hit with that shock, I would have finished him off. And I have no words for what happened to my Hyperion after that. Why I threw a L2, I don't know. I was so mad with myself, it was not even funny. But I'm back on path 1 for now, and I may take another path later. I know our alliance leader wants everybody to be comfortable with their path, And during the season, I'm not going to be comfortable with some of those more challenging paths until I've had a chance to at least run it once, and at least checked it out to see if the nodes are friendly to my champions, because I don't have a whole lot of champions to choose for Alliance War attack. It's one of the reasons that I was trying to join a higher tier alliance. My roster is not that deep for the higher tiers just yet. Ah, old man Logan. Gotcha. I'll have to look that synergy up. Okay. Buddy Lee says, old man Logan synergy with Sabretooth first attack medium can be unblockable. Okay. That's actually pretty powerful right there. But who wants to bring old man Logan with them just to use Sabretooth in that way? Old man Logan is okay and all, but I don't really foresee a whole lot of opportunities to use him, to be honest with you. Right, D&D Path 1 is a long haul in Alliance War. Yeah, it is. But I have a lot of free time, so I am very active. And I generally get my path done, Path 1, before anybody else is done with their path. I'll work my way up. The first day, I'm usually able to get up to the last few fights. I think last 4 fights. From node 46, I can get to node 46 before I go to bed. Then, when I wake up, I've got full energy, boost up, and finish my path. So I actually do like, path 1. It's not all that challenging, honestly, but Alliance War already is stressful. Now, before I did path 9, I don't know if I told you guys, I joined the wrong battle group. So if you saw that video, I was on backup on that one, and I actually came in. And so I did end up helping out on a path that was not my normal path, and I did fine there. But just need a little more practice with whichever path I end up getting. And of course, since I've already done path 1, pretty much for the last couple seasons, I think, that's going to be the path that I'm most comfortable with right now. Now is not the time to be practicing other paths unless we absolutely have to. Buddy Lee says, what does our alliance leader know? he's doing a good job. He's doing a very good job. I'm a very organized and structured type of a person. You wouldn't be able to tell that looking at my room sometimes, but when it comes to like my computer, if you look at how I lay out my files, they're very structured and organized. So it just depends. In certain areas, I'm very structured, and when it comes to doing Alliance Quest, for example, I always prefer assigned paths. But as you know, we don't do that for map 5, and it's not too big of a deal because map 5 is, pretty easy. But I like structure. And when in my last alliance, that's exactly what I did. In my last alliance, I had I assigned everyone not just a path in Alliance Quest, but I assigned each of their defenders a node in Alliance War. That way, everybody knew exactly where to put their defenders so that I didn't have to do a last minute scramble to make sure that everybody was where we wanted them to be. I didn't see any reason for that. Unless the defenders change, where you place them, is likely not going to change either unless you just, are wanting to try different things, which is fine. D&D says on the lower level tiers, I've seen Old Man Logan brought into Alliance War attack. Okay. Also, with Path 1, you don't have to wait on others denoting you, right? Exactly. And I love that. I hate waiting on other people. And I'm trying to remember. I think I'm linked. I think I linked to a few others. The reason I don't remember is because it's usually not an issue. Because I'm so active, I'm going to go through my path, as fast as possible anyway. So by the time some of the other guys are ready to hit their nodes or whatever, I've already cleared the links. So not usually an issue. Alright, let's get this Iron Man down. Now, Cable is also underrated. You'll notice here in the beginning, in a minute here, you'll see that I tried to get that degen on him early. That's because the amount of damage that the degen does has a inverse relationship, if I remember correctly, to the amount of power they have. Meaning, the more power they have, the less damage the degen will do. So you want to hit them with that degen when they have the least amount of power to do the most amount of damage with your degen. Alright, let's get this vision. Ooh. Got kicked in my face. He actually put his feet on my face. Now, he's got to pay. Oh, no, you didn't. Okay, this vision is asking for it, folks. Alright, let's get this L2 out of him. Because I can see how he wants to play. Now we're going to have a shocking good time in a minute. Yeah, catch all of that. Okay. What do we got here? The integral says my alliance ended up 4th in season 5 leaderboard after first week. Nice. Bobby Stapleton says you are back at it again. Yes, I am, every day. The only day that I take a break is Sunday, and that's only because of that Catalyst Clash, whatever that thing is called. It's just not worth it. Now, if they change the rewards for that one, then I'll probably be doing that one as well. But I used to do it when it was worth it, and I always put up about 2.7, 2.8 to get those 4-star shards, but no. No, D&D. I am not reading that out loud. And surprise, surprise, I currently do not have that type of a stash. Notice I said currently. Because there was a time that I did. And yes, I laid it out very structured. Categorized it and everything. But we won't speak of such things. Alright. Let me get this Mordo down. He's another one of those that likes to play around sometimes. Yep. See, he already stopped attacking right away. Fortunately, He's not going to do that much damage to me. His PI is not high enough. Let me get him down and then I'll read some more here. So glad that his L3 is not going to do a lot of damage. Alright. D&D said, wow, that is structure for AW defense. Damn, I can't fathom that is you have alliance mates with growing, developing rosters. Yeah. D&D says, would you rank up a 5-star cable if he was unawakened? Take him to R2 for level up or a mutant advancement event. Every 5-star is worth taking up to rank 2. And in fact, before I got Blade, that is what I was doing. My focus was to get every one of my 5-stars to rank 2. And I only have 3 5-stars left that were rank 1. Then I pulled Blade. So those 3 are going to be rank 1 for a little while because I'm not using any T4 basics on anyone except Blade. He is going to rank 4 as soon as possible. So once I get him to rank 4, then I'll go back and rank up my rank 1s and take them up. Let's see, Keith, win it! What's going on, man? Says, I hope his shoes were clean. Ha ha. Let's see. Yeah, what Keith Winnett said, I just said, yep. Since we're arena grinders, you need to have them at rank 2. Rank 1s are dangerous in arena right now. And it's a pain because I have to take the time to make sure I mix my rank 1s with rank 2s and 3s and 4s just to make sure that I don't get a death match. But once they're all rank 2, I don't have to worry about it, and I can just choose anyone that I want to. D&D says, I love Hood's liver shot attack. Do you know that attack sometimes annoys me when I'm fighting him? I'll go for the parry, and he's doing that liver shot, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Yeah, I see what you said, Keith Winnett. I ain't gonna say anything about that. Alright. I gotta pay attention to this Miles. As you can see, if I don't pay attention, I'm gonna get wrecked. Looks like this guy is running limber. Maxed out limber. That's why you see me just doing a parry, 1-2, parry, 1-2. When they're not running maxed out limber, I can do 3 hits on that parry stun. D&D says, oh man, oh, you're talking to Keith Winnett. Okay. I'll read what you said in a minute, Dean. Trying to get old girl here. Give up that special 2. Come on, give it up. There we go. Quit backing up. I remember when they tweaked the AI so that it started doing that little hover step. It's just whatever they can do to kind of throw your timing off. D&D says, great that you don't currently have that type of stash and don't need it. I have mine in certain categories, but I'm trimming it down. Yeah. This stuff is a poison. And I know it well. I mean, think about it. I grew up in New York City, in the Bronx. There's no way I was coming out of that experience without being heavily exposed from an early age to all of that. But I can tell you from personal experience that stuff is a poison. All right. To stay on the infinite streak in 4-star featured or T4 BC arena, I have to use 4-star 550 with 2 rank 1 5 stars. Yeah, see, that's what you have to do. And see, and that's just annoying. Better to just go ahead and rank everybody up to 2. And once I get them up to 2, there are some 4 stars I want to get up to rank 5. Unless I pull them as a 5-star, then my focus, my priority is always going to be my 5 stars. And I was thinking of starting to take up my 5 stars all to rank 3 once I had everybody to rank 2 as well. I don't foresee myself ever needing to use the class catalyst conversion thing, but I have used it already once. They just kept giving me the same T4 CC. I had a bunch in my overflow, and even though I ranked up a champion, I just did not have enough of that type of a champion at rank 2 already to use it. And that's exactly why I would like to get all of them up to rank 3 if I can. I had some that I could use it on that were rank 2, but I ran out of time and I didn't have enough resources to take them to 2 and then 3 so that I could use those up. Hey, Rixob, what's going on? D&D says, love that technique. Those hits with Civil War look like classic stick and move. 1-2 stick and move, exactly. Now, the other way to fight that Miles Morales is to use up his charges. So you would hit one time and then evade. One time, evade. Until he used up all of his charges. And then you just basically wreck him. But that takes a little bit of time. And I decided to do that. Now, if they didn't have Max Limber, the fight would have gone a little bit faster as well. That's also how I fight Nightcrawler back in the day when I wasn't able to switch his stance so easily. And Nightcrawler on Stun Immune used to be my most hated foe. And Spider-Man, OG Spider-Man. Nigel says, would you consider Elektra to be a good replacement for Black Widow? Have her as a 4-star, just recently duped. Is she rank 4 or 5 material? I don't think so, honestly. Elektra was the original assassin. She's still good, but both Elektra and Black Widow were nerfed. They are not what they used to be. I think my Black Widow, I was planning to take my Black Widow up to 550 because at the time, you needed to have a Black Widow at Sig 99 and bring her to war to deal with those Electros that people love to put in war. You had to have her. And they nerfed her so that now she does not have a 100% chance to shut down the ability accuracy, and she doesn't do as much damage as she used to. Same with Elektra. And there's just other counters. There are champions that are much better for you to rank up. And I made a video listing out the champions that I thought were still worth ranking up to 5 as a 4-star. If you haven't seen that video, take a look on my channel. In that video, I missed Medusa. Whatever list I chose did not have her for some reason, and I did not see that and forgot all about her. But she's definitely rank 5 worthy as a 4-star. and as a 5-star for that matter. And I have her as a 550 and no regrets, but I don't have her as a 5-star either. Let's get this Colossus down here. Come on. Alright, so we're at the 1 hour mark, and I've been trying to go pretty quickly without suicides. This is about what I expect as far as speed goes. Almost done with my 5-stars, and I'll go over to my 550s. So probably another 15-20 minutes, something like that. Ooh, I love practicing intercepting voids heavy, which I recommend you guys, even if you don't like arena. Arena is the place where you can actually practice those kinds of things, so I recommend it. Well, Buddy Lee says that he loves using Electra, and she is rank 4, rank 5 worthy. I will defer to Buddy Lee. I have not ranked her up, and I haven't found her to be someone that I'll rank up, but that might be because I have a roster where I wouldn't really have a whole lot of use for her. I mean, what does she do that one of my other guys can't do better? Don't know. But one thing I would say, Nigel, is that I wouldn't consider Elektra a replacement for Black Widow. They're different champions, and they each have different things that they bring to the table. They are different tools. So, not a replacement, but someone that you would have in your toolkit. And I don't know. I honestly don't. I can't think of where I would use her over one of my my other champions. All right, let's. I'm pretty much done with my 5-stars here. Got one left, Miss Marvel. So I'll mix her with a couple of my 550s here. And then once we get done with the 550s, we're done with this round, and you will see I also got, or will have, all of the milestones by the time I'm done. Then I just have to rotate my 6-stars through this arena, and I'll have more than enough by the time the arena is done to ensure that I get the 2K 5-star shards. And we still have about a day left, but that's how I like it. I don't like to wait till the last minute. Alright, D&D says, I ranked up my 4-star Electra to 550, and she is fun. R5 worthy to me if you have no one else. Okay, I'll accept all of that, because I honestly don't have all that much experience with her outside of arena. Hey, Meister, what is going on? I see you. Let's get that Kamala Khan pimp slap. Yeah, no problem, Nigel. D&D says, are there any podcasts you like listening to? I don't listen to any podcasts. To be honest, most of the time, if I'm not watching some anime or cartoon on Hulu or Netflix, you know, some of the original Netflix series or something, I'll be watching some streams, if I watch it while I'm, grinding. And that's really about it. Ooh. This Juggernaut acting up. Alright. Buddy Lee says she wasn't nerfed at all. I don't use her as much as before, but if you have a need for bypassing, she is still very effective. I had her at 550 before I got Black Widow. So you're saying Elektra was never nerfed? I seem to remember that there was some change to Elektra. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. I know for sure Black Widow, but I thought Elektra also got touched. Maybe it was because people were always talking about them together. When Black Widow got nerfed, Elektra was almost always mentioned. You know, asking that same question. Do you think Elektra is taking Black Widow's place and things like that? Alright, Buddy Lee says you can duel an Iron Man Infinity War and have fun bypassing the auto block at the end. Okay. But see, just like that, why in the world would I bring Elektra against an Iron Man Infinity War when I have Corvus? Or even Hyperion? Yeah, Buddy Lee. That's exactly what I remember. Buddy Lee says Black Widow was definitely nerfed. Instead of 100%, she's now 70% at SIG 99. Elektra has always been at 85. Yeah, I do remember she was always at 85. I thought she got changed in another way, like her damage was scaled down or something else happened to her. But I haven't really been paying attention, honestly. And Buddy Lee says if you have bleed or armor on your opponent, she's at 85. Yeah, exactly. When they're bled or have that armor break if they're bleed immune. Yeah, buddy, exactly. See, I like I said, by the time I actually got an Elektra, I already had Black Widow, and I was focusing on getting Black Widow up. And then when they nerfed her, by the time they nerfed Black Widow, I had other champions that I would use for the problems that I had. Then they changed Alliance War completely. They removed that most annoying of nodes. People stopped bringing Electro as well. So after that, I didn't really pay much attention to them. But you could actually go on my channel, and one of the event quests, I believe it was the event quest that featured Vulture. If you remember that one, where Vulture was the end boss there. I actually went in there one time after I got through all of my other guys. I brought in a low-level Black Widow and actually did some work on him with that Black Widow. Ankit Sharma says, I hope Elektra's AA reduction worked for general AA. It could have bypassed masochism. And see, like I said, I have, speaking of AA, I have Archangel, who reduces ability accuracy now that he's awakened. And if they can be bled and poisoned, it would only be the node that caused me not to choose my Archangel. Come on, Nebula. Quit acting like that. Okay, we are winding down here. I'll check in after I'm done with Arena. I'll check into Alliance Quest. I already did my Occult Labs earlier before the stream. So, only thing after this, go eat myself some lunch and work a little bit on my project. Then I'll probably jump into the 4-star basic arena and start rotating my 550s and my 440s in that arena, and start on the 4-star featured, get to where I can start rotating my 5 stars in that one, and just see how far I get before the end. And Kit says, no, I meant her ability accuracy reduction only works for defensive abilities, not offensive, like masochism. Okay, I got you. Otherwise, she would have been great. Yeah, she would have been awesome. They probably figure she would have been overpowered at that point. Who knows? Okay. D&D says, back to work for me. Later, Lord Shadow and crew. Later, D&D. Get that work. Make that money. Nigel says, I really appreciate the insight provided on this stream. Everyone is positive and provide great info. Appreciate you. And hopefully we will be able to keep it positive and useful and informative. I'm definitely about that positivity. And if you ever watch any of my videos, you know I try to see the good in even bad pulls, even when I can't see the good. Like when I duplicated this lovely lady right here as a 6-star. When I got another Angela as a 6-star, that hurt, guys. That hurt me bad. I was like, oh, you talk about disappointment. I would have taken any other champion over another Angela. If it was a new champion, that would have been fine. I could use them in arena for more points. If it was a duplicate of one of the champions I had at that time, their awakened abilities were more useful than hers, because hers is pretty much useless. Alright, you guys are going to see the lag. Yep, right there. That is actually game lag. That's not the stream. That's what this game did to me. Buddy Lee says AQ is cleared, all done. Are you sure? I still had one node to touch after my last node, I thought. So we shouldn't be 100% unless we don't need that node. I don't know. And Keith says, still no update, eh? I'm having a beef with Kabam Mike on forums. I told him the new update execution by Kabam is poor, and he asked to elaborate. Yeah, you know, when you give constructive criticism, you have to supply details. You know, as a developer, when I write a product for a client and the client says, hey, this don't work, that's not helpful to me. Chances are I tested it before I released it. So whatever isn't working, I need to know, you know, tell me what you're doing and what it's doing so that I can try to reproduce it and then fix it. But if all you ever tell me is, This sucks. This not working right. I have no clue. Now, sometimes I might be able to play around with it and guess that you must be talking about, this if I find something. But yeah, you gotta have some details. Gotta, you know, tell them why you're saying what you're saying. Be as informative and complete as possible. I'm not on the forums very much at all. I think I don't even have 10 posts, but when I actually critique, I give a lot of examples and I lay things out. People have often said I was verbose, but that's because I try to be complete. So yeah, I am verbose. I'm also a reader, so reading a few paragraphs of text don't bother me at all. I'm not used to the little short text messenger and things like that. And Keith says, funny thing is, my alias on forum is Mike. A couple of people betting Mike versus Mike, and they place their bets on Mike. No idea which one. But Elise says, you're right. 2 more moves, 1 more defender. I saw the boss was killed already. Okay. Yeah, I finished my path as far as the link. So the boss was unlinked. But I still had to touch those nodes. And yeah, I'll do that in a little bit here once I get done, which will be very quick. And Keith says, are you programmer or for software or web developer? Yes. Yes, I am. And I say that because you ask or, and there is no or with me. Both. When I went to school to be a software developer. There was no World Wide Web at first. So I learned C programming, and I learned it to write software. Business software was my main focus. So the software like a browser or a word processor or any of the programs that you use, that is what I used to write. Later on, and this would have been about around the year 2000, I was working for Bell South. And one of the tasks that they put me on was they had an internal web interface for a lady to monitor certain systems. And so they put me in charge of improving that, fixing it up, and it was amazing how many development hours they put in, and it was one woman, but she had a very important job. Basically, when you make a order on the phone, like you need a new service, because of the split up of the bells, you actually contact a different company and you make your order, and they gather all your information and then they store it on their computer. We're not allowed to directly get that information, so what we end up having to do is do what's called screen scraping. So we simulate sitting there, logging in as a user, and just going through and getting the information and reading the information back from the screen. It is nuts, but that's what we have to do. Well, that flow of data from them, it has to go through several systems until it finally gets to the person who's actually going to go and do the work. And what she does is she monitors all of that so that, if there's a problem, which a lot of times there is, something happened with the screen scrape and it got stuck. Well, she can look at it and the interface will allow her to restart it, or modify it and put it through. So it was a very important task that was just one person, and one person was really all you needed. honestly. But around that time, I got into web development. I used Cold Fusion, and later on, I got into more of the programming server side of it because I discovered that the server side was basically programming. I used to not really consider web development much of anything because I kept looking at just the interface, HTML and JavaScript. But web development, when you have to do the server side, that's programming. The programming project I'm working on right now, I'm using C Sharp. The HTML and JavaScript that I'm using, that's on the front end, but the back end, it's programming. Hopefully that answered your question. I have programmed in C, C++, C Sharp, JavaScript, and when I say JavaScript, JScript or was it EMCA script? Not just the version that is found in your browsers, which is JavaScript. But yeah, I could talk your head off about programming, but pretty sure a lot of people don't want to hear all of that. But I will geek out on you. Nigel says, when are we supposed to sell our symbiote? I do not know. Are you even able to? I know that if you don't sell him, he's going to be removed or run away, as they say. I would have expected them to have some sort of in-game announcement when he was about to leave and was available to be sold in case you wanted to do that. So I'm not entirely sure. And Kit says, yep, a lot of server side is programming, and today Google Polymer, hold on, get this thing done. Because I'll geek out. Hold on. Come on. Now, one of the things, and I'll get back to your comment, one of the changes to Juggernaut kind of hurt Scarlet Witch against him, because what I would do sometimes when he would go unstoppable is I would stun him and then I would hit once with Scarlet Witch, and sometimes she would nullify the unstoppable and then I could go to town on him. Can't do that anymore. Alright, and Kit says, yep, a lot of server side is programming, and today Google Polymer, oh, it just went right to the next fight. Okay, Google Polymer and JavaScript frameworks. Alright, trying to read this is nuts, and trying to play at the same time. Let me just go ahead and finish this before I get wrecked and be upset. Okay. Google Polymer, JavaScript frameworks like Angular are very popular, exactly. I don't use a ton of those, but I am using some CSS frameworks. I do use jQuery, love me some jQuery. I'm using jQuery UI, love jQuery UI. But there's a number of frameworks that are good. jQuery is just the one that I first experienced and definitely like it. Very simple, very easy to use for me. Sniper Boss, hey, how is it going? Yeah, I'm about to end the stream now. Coming down to the wire here. The last of my 550s. Cool MCOC says hello. Well, hello there to you too. All right, let's see. Was that the last one? No, I think I have 2 more fights. Yeah, Hulk. Man. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get evaded. just so she's on a cooldown because I know it's not going to do a lot of damage. And even if it were to do some damage, so what? Hulk likes to get hit. And it's faster. Ooh, that did a lot of damage. But that's okay, because now Hulk is doing a lot of damage too. Alright, last fight. The integral says update is out. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing after this stream. Get that update. And I looked over it, and because I'm a programmer, guess which section I tend to go to first? Yes, the bug fixes section. That is the section that I find very interesting. Yeah, you got the new events and all that stuff. I'll find out about that later. What I want to know is what bugs have they fixed? What were bugs that maybe I thought was me and wasn't? That sort of thing. Ha ha ha. And Kit says, so Kabam Mike replied. He said Kabam doesn't have control over when the update is pushed out because it depends on Google, Apple, Play Store, and that info is sent days earlier. Yeah, that much I knew. They could actually have their update ready, but Google and Apple, they have a schedule. And you can't just update anytime you want to. All right, I'm going to do one more round. Just, you know what? No, I'm not. Because I'm going to use those in the other arena. All right, let me go over to Alliance Quest and just get that done real quick. All right. Oh, we've got one more defender, do we? Who is this? Ew. Plague Mine and Power Gain. Should I do it? Should I do it? Nah. Yeah, let's play around. I'm not sure who this is. I wasn't paying attention on the map. Oh, great, him. All right. Let's see if we can't get him down here. Come on. Trying to build up them poise charges. 5. Come on. Don't care about draining my power right now. 7. 8. Okay, I'm not going to try to get in the corner like this. Yep, Yeah, now how you feeling? Bet you that hurt. Okay. There we go. And that's that. And that should be it. With 2 hours and 26 minutes to spare. Yeah, Integral, they are. I have no words. I was in BG3. And hopefully there's going to be some changes. Our alliance leader is on it. Alright, I think that should get us... yep. First one to 100% completion. That's what I'm looking for. Alright. So guys, that is it. I will be updating and grabbing some lunch. And as you can see, I already got all the milestones for the 5-star featured. So rotating my 6 stars just to pad it will probably put me close to 13 million by the time this arena is done. And I'll be able to hit all the milestones in the basic and should be able to get all the milestones in the 4-star featured. That Alpha Catalyst one kind of put me behind a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. All right. Um, and Kit says, will you do live stream or a brief guide about the new event quest? I will do a live stream on the event quest. I will wait though, because several other YouTubers are likely to go live stream that event quest right when it starts. Seaton usually does. He's been taking a little bit of a break, I think, but he usually is the first one out the gate with the event quest. That way, I can watch someone else go through and I can learn a little bit better what I can expect so that when I go on the live stream, I don't embarrass myself too much. So, when am I going to do the live stream? I don't know. If I see a bunch of live streams and it seems, pretty straightforward, then later on tonight I might do a live stream of the event quest. Or I might wait till tomorrow to do the event quest. So it just depends. If you have notifications on, or if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, if you are on my Discord server, I will try to let you know when I go live. And of course, if you're in one of the line groups that I'm in, I'll try to put out a link when I'm live there too, but I'm sometimes forgetful. All right. The Integral says, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Yes, like and subscribe. Trenton K says, hey, Lord Shadow, how's it going? It's going well, man. How are you doing? Says, are you ending the live stream now? Yes, I am. He says, I just got here. I just got the notification. Yeah, YouTube is bad about notifications. I've been streaming for an hour and a half now, and I've already gone through all of my 550s and my 5 stars. And I even did the last fight in Alliance Quest to get 100% here. Uh, okay. Yep, Super Vega Man. That is our Alliance leader, for you guys that don't know. And like I said, he's on it. And he said, we're fixing AQ3. So don't worry about it. He's got it well in hand. One of the things I will say is that everyone in the Alliance is a good fighter. There is no one in the Alliance that doesn't have the skills to get through the fights. Map 5 is very easy. They can also get through map 6. What kills map 6 is just scheduling and communication. And if you have too much of a diverse group, like when I was in BG3, one of the things that hurt hurt us then, I spent almost 10 hours capped on energy because the person that I needed to unlink me wasn't there, and there was no communication, so I had no idea. But we actually, in that particular one, we ended up still able to take down the boss, but I ran out of energy. I couldn't even hit the last little node, a couple of nodes at the end of my path because I no longer had enough energy. But it's getting there, and we'll have it all straight, and we'll be running smooth as silk very soon because I have faith in Super Vega Man. Trenton K says, are you going to live stream tomorrow? Probably. I don't know what time. This event quest, I'm going to live stream it probably, if not today, I'll do it tomorrow. So stay tuned. Uh, One of the things that I would suggest if you guys aren't getting the notifications is to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, or um, join the Discord server somewhere else where I can get you guys the notification out that I'm live and not rely on YouTube, because YouTube is very bad about letting people know that I'm live. Um, the information is all in my description, so if you guys want to do that, you can ensure that you know when I'm live, unless I forget to send it out. Super Vega Man says GMT 0 to +5 in AQ3. We have 2 members in Eastern Time in that BG that will be fixed. Yeah, exactly. I pretty much figured that was the problem. Too much of a diverse um, time zones. Uh, Aeon Kong isn't here right now. I don't think he might be lurking. But oh, thank you, Super Vega Man, with that super chat for $5. Thank you. Let me see if it updates. It should update automatically because I did add that label. Let's see if you become. See, I don't see it. Why is it not doing anything? It's supposed to have updated. Okay, there it is. But oh, you know what? Okay, I need to actually um, fix that. So if you guys don't know, on the right hand side, I've been, adding these kind of little things, just like some of the other YouTubers. Dragon Damon is the top super chat of all times. Apparently, it does not do any ties. So as you can see, Torik, he super chatted $5, but so did Temple. But it's not going to replace him unless it goes over. So it has to be more than the current. So Dragon Damon is the all-time super chatter. Horde Damon is the current session's top super chatter. And see, that should be changed each time. So that should currently be Super Vega Man. I don't know why it's not. So I need to check and see what's going on there if I didn't set it correctly. I might just change it so that it's like the last super chatter or something, but it was supposed to be the person who super chatted the most for this particular session. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'll figure it out. And Stalker Damon is supposed to be the last person that subscribed to me. So as you saw, someone just subscribed to me. Let me see who it is. It is Jignesh, but yet it hasn't updated. All right, Super Vega Man, thank you again. Yeah, see, you should be at the top right now, and I don't know. It might be that I'm because there's a ton of. Oh wait, it just updated. Okay, I take it all back. Apparently, there is a delay. There is a delay in doing all of this. Okay, so it is working the way that I thought it would work. And there is Jignesh. Okay, we're good. I don't have to go in there and figure anything out. Okay. But I was about to tell you guys, just before we end the stream, I was going to tell you guys my experience in my previous alliance. Not the one that I was in just before this one, the one previous to that one, X Unit. I was an officer in BG3, and I had the most frustrating time. The guys were talented, everybody could fight, but we had too diverse of a group. So, for example, Aeon Kong, who was one of my first followers and subscribers to my channel, he is in Bangladesh. So was another guy, Shams. Now, here's the fun part. Even though they were both in Bangladesh, they had different play times. Because if I remember correctly, one of them worked nights. So it was kind of fun, and you couldn't just go by time zone, you had to go by playtime. And then we had a couple of other people there that had different time zones. So I had to try to come up with assignments, because remember, we did assign paths to accommodate everyone. But what I ended up doing was having a little bit of leeway. So certain people, like for Aeon Kong, I put him on backup for path 1. That way, whenever he came in, he could get on and do what he needed to do. and then play on through. And then for the end, the last section, we pretty much ended up being free for all because there was just no way for me to try to regulate uh, all of that kind of diversity. And it was a pain when you had people come uh, new into the group that were on a different time zone, and then I had to do all of it over again. It was a headache. It was a nightmare. And a lot of times we did not get done until we had like maybe 30 minutes left of AQ. That's how bad it was. Marine, he basically rage quit out of the group because he was going to kick people. It was that bad. Communication was horrible. People weren't on. They weren't around. It was a mess. But okay, let's see. Buddy Lee. Okay, Keith Winnett. Super Vega Man says, "Can you show me how to do that later, please and thank you." Show you how to do what? Let me know. Hector says, "Update is out." Yeah, as soon as I'm about to finish the stream, and as soon as I do, I'm going to update while I eat some lunch, and hopefully it doesn't wreck the game for me. All right, BG2 Eastern Time is gold. Okay, awesome. But yeah, Super Vega Man, I'm not sure what you were asking, what you wanted me to show you how to do, or if you were talking to me. But we can chat on a line, and I'll help you out best I can. All right, but that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you, Super Vega Man, for the super chats, and thank everyone for stopping by and watching my live stream. And I will live stream the event quest. I don't know exactly when, so just stay tuned. It'll be either today if I can watch a bunch of live streams and feel comfortable at least doing a little bit of it, then I'm going to live stream it. If not, it'll be tomorrow sometime. All right? So take care, and you guys have a blessed day.